The Chengdu J-20 has been positioned as a next-generation stealth fighter, emblematic of a broader push for indigenous military aviation capabilities. Despite being marketed as a breakthrough achievement in aeronautics, the J-20 continues to be plagued by numerous fundamental problems, both technical and strategic, that challenge its authenticity as a mature, high-performance, low-observable combat aircraft. These issues are not mere growing pains of a new platform, but reflect deeper limitations in aerospace design maturity, material science capabilities, avionics reliability, and industrial quality control. The combination of these factors severely undermines the aircraft's credibility as a cutting-edge system. From the outset, one of the most glaring flaws in the J-20 program has been the lack of a viable, domestically produced, high-thrust engine. The aircraft was originally conceived with advanced performance specifications requiring supercruise capabilities, high acceleration, and extended combat range. However, without a purpose-built, high-performance engine, these goals remain aspirational rather than operational. Early versions of the aircraft relied on engines imported or reverse-engineered from legacy designs, which were not optimized for stealth and were insufficient in terms of power-to-weight ratio. This mismatch affected the aircraft's ability to fly at sustained supersonic speeds without afterburners, a key requirement for modern stealth fighters. The use of afterburners drastically increases infrared and radar signatures, reducing survivability in contested environments. Attempts to develop a domestically produced engine suitable for the J-20, reportedly under the WS series designation, have encountered repeated delays and performance shortfalls. Multiple prototype engines have reportedly suffered from overheating, structural cracking, insufficient thrust under altitude, poor fuel efficiency, and inconsistent quality control. Engine reliability remains a concern, particularly in terms of long-duration operation at high speeds or in high-altitude, high-G maneuvering scenarios. Despite years of public statements claiming imminent breakthroughs, there is still no concrete evidence that a fully indigenous, reliable engine has entered large-scale production and operational deployment in the J-20 fleet. Beyond propulsion, the J-20 exhibits critical aerodynamic compromises. The aircraft employs a canard delta configuration, which is inherently less stealthy than alternatives that eliminate forward control surfaces. Canards significantly increase the aircraft's radar cross-section, especially from oblique angles. In high-frequency radar bands, such as those used by airborne early warning and fire control radars, the radar reflections from canard surfaces are non-negligible. While the J-20 incorporates some shaping to reduce its frontal radar cross-section, the inclusion of such reflective control surfaces fundamentally limits its stealth in practical terms. Additionally, there are questions about the J-20's airframe materials and manufacturing precision. Stealth is not just a function of shape, but also of surface smoothness, radar-absorbent coatings, and edge alignment tolerances. Any gaps, panel misalignments, or coating imperfections can drastically compromise low observability. Based on photos and close-range visual evidence from airshows and public appearances, visible inconsistencies in surface panel fitting and coating wear have been observed. These flaws suggest challenges in industrial quality control and point to potential weaknesses in long-term stealth retention, particularly under operational stress. The aircraft's internal weapons bay, a critical feature for maintaining stealth while carrying munitions, also raises concerns. The J-20 appears to have a relatively narrow weapons bay compared to its overall size, limiting the type and number of weapons that can be carried internally. In real combat scenarios, the aircraft may be forced to use external hardpoints to carry sufficient munitions for strike or multi-role missions. Doing so would nullify its stealth advantage, defeating one of the primary purposes of the airframe's design. Another significant uncertainty is the performance of the J-20's radar and avionics suite. Claims have been made regarding the use of active electronically scanned array (AESA) radars, distributed aperture systems, and advanced electronic warfare tools. However, no independent testing or validation has been made public, and no known deployments in electronic warfare-heavy environments have occurred. Without combat-proven performance, these claims remain unverified. Furthermore, there is limited understanding of how well the J-20 integrates its sensors into a unified battlespace awareness platform, a key requirement for any fifth-generation aircraft. Sensor fusion requires not only advanced hardware but extremely sophisticated and stable software, a field that continues to pose challenges for domestic developers. The level of software complexity required to manage radar, infrared search and track (IRST), electronic warfare, flight control, and target recognition simultaneously is extremely high. Modern stealth fighters function more like flying computers than traditional aircraft. Any errors in data fusion algorithms, software bugs, or lags in real-time processing can compromise mission success and pilot survivability. The absence of information regarding the maturity, certification, or operational validation of J-20 software systems introduces serious doubts about its overall reliability in real-world combat conditions. Operational deployment data is also limited. While official announcements often claim that the J-20 is in active service in multiple units, there is no clarity on how many of these aircraft are fully mission-capable. Many could be pre-production models, testbeds, or limited operational capability units with downgraded systems. No credible evidence exists to show that the J-20 has been regularly deployed in frontline operations or integrated into high-tempo exercises involving complex scenarios such as joint targeting, electronic countermeasures, or network-centric warfare. This lack of exposure implies that the aircraft is either not yet trusted for high-risk missions or still undergoing refinement in many key systems. The cost and sustainability of J-20 operations are also opaque. Stealth aircraft are notoriously expensive and difficult to maintain. Their coatings are sensitive to environmental factors, require constant refurbishment, and degrade over time. Without a highly specialized maintenance infrastructure, aircraft stealth capabilities rapidly deteriorate, resulting in increased radar visibility and reduced combat effectiveness. There is no public evidence suggesting the existence of a robust, nationwide stealth maintenance and testing ecosystem capable of handling a large J-20 fleet at full readiness. In addition, the strategic doctrine surrounding the J-20 has been inconsistent. Initially touted as an air superiority fighter capable of contesting air dominance in hostile environments, the aircraft's mission was later described as one focused more on interception, patrol, and denial roles. This redefinition of purpose may reflect internal recognition of the platform's limitations in high-agility engagements or close-range combat. A true air dominance platform requires not only stealth and speed but also sustained maneuverability and superior pilot visibility in dynamic engagements. The J-20's large size, limited rearward visibility, and lack of helmet-mounted cueing systems suggest that it may be ill-suited for high-intensity dogfighting, despite early portrayals of it as a multi-role elite fighter. Finally, the information ecosystem surrounding the J-20 is tightly controlled, with no transparency or third-party assessments permitted. The overwhelming majority of performance claims stem from internal announcements, promotional material, or selectively edited footage. The absence of verifiable test data, operational readiness reports, or foreign evaluation introduces skepticism. Without validation through competitive trials or real-world multilateral exercises, the aircraft's true effectiveness remains unproven. While the Chengdu J-20 is an ambitious project symbolizing national aerospace aspirations, its continued problems, from engine development failures and stealth design compromises to avionics immaturity and operational secrecy, highlight the gap between appearance and reality. The aircraft's public image is heavily curated, masking a series of unresolved challenges that affect its readiness, survivability, and strategic value. Until these deficiencies are addressed and validated transparently, the J-20 cannot be regarded as a fully mature, credible platform in modern high-threat air warfare.